It's time for Bravo with Sheila, a place to be enlightened, a place to be built up, and always a place to remember that when nothing changes, nothing changes. Hello, everyone. How you doing? I forgot to put myself on stage. Well, here I am, and here you are, and it's a great night. Listen, I've been waiting for my friend to come back on the Bravo platform for the longest. You know, he is our personal relationship coach, and I'm so excited. He's gotten so very busy since the last time that he was here. I'm telling you, God has turned up the volume, and he is by popular demand anywhere, everywhere. And listen, I'm so excited about tonight and having this conversation. You know, I usually kind of yield the floor to him because he is the one who is the expert on this particular topic and so many topics. Let me see if you can hear me. If you can hear me, I need you to put a 1 in the chat because I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Someone just text me. Maybe you can't hear me. Let's see. I think you can hear me. Ine or Von Eric, please put a 1 in the chat so that I know that all is well. There it is. There's that 1. I'm looking for those 1s. There's the 1. Listen, I'm so excited tonight to chat, to chop it up, to talk with my brother, my dear friend who has been super busy. And I'm so grateful, always grateful when he stops what he's doing to come here and to bless us with his presence and his knowledge. You know, he's no stranger here. See, Regi Rodgers is no stranger. I felt a great need to talk about this. There's so much conversation in these YouTube streets and so many places that I go and read, and topics like people are talking about so many things that are troubling folks. Like, why do so many good women, why can't they be happy? And the Ernesto and Shirley Strawberry situations going on, the Jada Pinkett thing, love comes later for men. People are talking about in these streets. They're saying dysfunction is keeping them single. That's being said a lot. Love, honor, and obey. They said that's a deal breaker. Listen, it's so much that I want Regi to share with us. Modern women trust, and the trust that you have for modern women and the trust you don't have. You know, modern women just don't want to understand the sisterhood is on attack. Listen, we have so much to talk about tonight. I want to bring him to the stage, but I want to tell you a little bit about him. Some of you may have not seen him before. Some of you are new. I want to say welcome to all of you in the chat. And those of you up in the bleachers, in the balcony, and maybe you bought an expensive ticket and you're in the orchestra seat. Wherever you may be, I thank you for being here. I hope you hit that like button on the way in. And if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and subscribe. You listen, see Regi Rodgers. He's a #1 relationship coach. Yes, he is. And he discusses dating, relationships, and so much more. Let me give you a little bit of his mission. His mission, relationship coaching is collaborative, he says. Relationship between the client and C. Regi Rodgers. That's what he's saying, to discuss and dissect and dissolve, listen, any concerns or challenges related to dating. Together, he says he's going to identify the emotions you are feeling and create what? A plan. That's that word. We all need a plan to process emotions and to what? Elevate your thinking. Elevate that thinking, right? And so he says his objective is to help you unclutter. I love that word. We need to unclutter in more than one way. Unclutter it, and to organize your thought process, your thought process. And when you do this, he says it will result in you what? To manifest your deepest desires. Listen, I'm going to bring him to the stage. I could talk. Listen, I could talk on and on and on and on about C. Regi Rodgers. I could go on his website. Listen, his books, all the things, the platforms he's been on. You already know about dating and creating. We're going to chop it up. I don't know how much time he has. I'm going to follow his lead on a lot of this. But without further ado, I'm going to bring my friend to the stage. Bravo.
Hey, Sheila. What's happening, Sheila?
Hi, Reggie.
Hey, Sheila, before we get started, I just want to commend you. I love what you're doing. I love your intro. I see how you've progressed and elevated to a whole different dimension now. So this is awesome. I'm so proud of you. You're doing the thing.
Oh, thank you, Reggie. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, I've been in these streets for maybe a year and some change, and I'm learning the ropes. And we did hit over 500 subs last couple of weeks ago. We celebrated. I was like, wow, that's like major from what I understand. You know, when you're a new YouTuber to come and make 500 plus subs before, 2 years or 3 years. So God is good. And I'm so happy because people like you come on the platform and help people come and subscribe to get this good content. And, I really, really appreciate you. I know you traveling all over the place. You got all kind of assistants and all kinds of things. You always had your assistants, but you done turned up as well. You're everywhere. Tell me a little bit about what's going on before we jump into our topic.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I celebrated a birthday last September. So I took off all of the month of September. I wanted to take off because I turned the big 5'6".
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. 5'6". So I know that you were communicating with Tanya, my manager, and so we definitely wanted to make it happen. I'm always make it happen for you one way or the other because it's you and the admiration that I have for you and the rapport that you and I have. So we're going to make it happen one way or the other. So I'm happy to be here today, October. We're here, ready to get it on, do it.
Get it on. You had a birthday. I remember the birthday because I sent a date. And he was like, I said, tell him, forgive me. Tell him do his thing for the rest of the month. And she said, I sent a couple of dates. And first she said, oh no, he's going to be, I said, say less, celebrating his birthday. So
I think the first time you sent it, I was going to Texas, and then the other time, but it was all good. We're good.
Happy birthday to you. I pray that you enjoyed it. You look happy. You look good. Reggie, you look so good. You definitely don't look your age at all. That's a good
5'6", 5'6".
Oh, Reg. Wow, you don't feel 5'6". You got a young spirit. You definitely.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. So, Reggie, I wanted to chat with you. I always, when I get confused or I need understanding, and we in this Bravo Nation need understand, and people have really, really gave me feedback, loving when you're here. When after I leave, they leave comments. They come in the back and leave comments and says, "Wow, I learned a lot. I really appreciate that." And you know how we feel. If we just touch one or two, we're into numbers, but we're into just giving breakthroughs for people who are struggling in this area. And you heard the list of things that it's amazing, the topics that's going on in these chats and these programs and in YouTube. A lot of different YouTubers are talking. I mean, so it's flooded. It is totally flooded with topics like I just said to you. Modern women just don't want to understand. The sisterhood is on attack. Should modern wives earn the riches? And I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot of men who now have a voice, who didn't have a voice because they was raised, because men don't cry, men don't share their emotions, but men are turned up now and they're tired. And that has no pun intended to women. But now that that has happened because the men have been so silent, and women have been so vocal, and when women cry they get attention when certain things happen. So a lot of narcissism programs is on and men and modern day women. So when I said I need Reggie, so let's talk about traditional men and modern day women. Can they love each other? What are the differences? And so I did, before you jump into that, a traditional woman, by definition, is typically seen as a homemaker and a caregiver,
Mm-hmm.
while a modern woman is often viewed as a multifaceted individual who is capable of taking on a variety of roles. Also, a traditional woman is usually expected to prioritize the needs of her family over her own. And that has been heated conversations. Like, I am not supposed to go and do what I want to do for my career. Am I supposed to just be home? And a lot of men still have that concept and idea that you belong home for me and the kids. Please jump in, start where you want to start. Let's talk about this.
So I think first and foremost that I think a woman should be multifaceted, because I think a woman is like a diamond. A diamond is what we call multivariegated. It's multifaceted. It has so many different dimensions to a diamond. And the way that a woman is designed to have so many different dimensions, is multifaceted, multivariegated. It's the brilliance of a woman. A woman is supposed to shine. But in shining and being multifaceted, I think that a woman must understand too how to multitask when it comes to understanding complementing versus competing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about creation, you go back and you think about creation, you see that first, that if we believe in that, if we believe in how we were created, so the way that the creator chose to create the woman, he reached into the man.
Mm-hmm.
But he specifically reached into the man on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and pulled that extra rib from that man so that he could create what he considered to be a helper,
Mm-hmm.
someone that would be a help meet,
Mm-hmm.
so that she could help that man meet his destiny. But that didn't leave her out, because she was involved in the process.
Correct.
And so when you think about she being involved in the process, it says that she plays a pivotal role just as he plays a pivotal role. But it's now understanding the role that we both play. And I think what's going on now with the modern woman, she's gotten away from the role that the woman that we call a traditional woman once played. Because in her multifacetedness, in her being multivariegated, in her being this brilliant woman with a shining brightness to her, she's chasing what she believes is in her. And so in her chasing, she becomes condescending now.
Mm.
And a woman was not created to be condescending. A woman was created to be uplifting. And so again, you've backed away, or you shrunk from the role that you were created to. The role was just to be a complement,
Mm-hmm.
not to compete, but to complement. If we complement each other, then we build an empire together. So therefore, your brilliance, your wisdom, your knowledge, and all that you're chasing, you can build this with your partner. That's why when you have a partner, you become partners instead of problems, because the problem arises when somebody's not in the role that they were designed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that very, very, very cautiously, because when you talk about, women don't want to say it's a role, they want to say I'm independent, so I don't really have a role. And I think that's a part of the problem. You're saying you're in independence, and so you don't realize that there is a such thing called interdependence.
Mm-hmm.
Interdependence is not taking away from your independence, but it's giving value to your independence because you understand how to utilize your independence by being intertwined with your partner. So you guys make partners to have an interdependence.
That's good.
And so that's the issue. So I've been working on something though here recently, and I'm going to put this out. I've been working on this thing called your thought style determines your lifestyle. And then your thought style also determines your mate style.
Say that again. Say it again.
Your thought style determines your lifestyle, but your thought style also determines your mate style. Mm-hmm. And so when you hear all these women complaining, oh, I can't find a good man, it's because it's their thought style.
Ah.
And if you keep saying what you can't, you'll never. It's your thought style. Your thought style is going to always determine your mate style.
Yeah.
As we think, so we become.
Right.
Right? As a man thinketh, so is he. It's just what you think about is what you bring about. Right. And so when you think about that, it's crazy because whatever you recognize, that's what you energize. Mm. And that's what's being recognized now. That's why that's being energized. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I tell people so often is essentially what's going on when two people are coming together. Essentially, you're bringing two energies together.
Correct.
And by bringing two energies together, the goal is to create two energies, create a synergy. Mm-hmm. A synergy is two people that are uniquely in sync. That's not two people that are the same, but that's two people that are uniquely in sync. You don't want somebody that's just like you, because if you got somebody that's just like you, one of you are obsolete.
Absolutely.
Right? So you create a synergy. So the goal is what I call is something that I'm working on. It's called PSI, PSI. The goal is to create in a partnership what we call PSI, people that are synergistically involved.
Wait. Here you go. You're getting ready to turn on. You're getting ready to go. Say it again. Say that again.
People that are synergistically involved. Mm-hmm. Synergy is what's important when you're bringing energies together, because when you bring energies together, the first thing that you want to focus on is the frequency. That's called vibratory frequency. It's a vibe that you're exuding. Mm-hmm. Does your vibe match what I want? Yeah. And if your vibe does not match what I want, then there's no vibratory frequency. Our frequency is off.
It's off.
And what's happening now with a lot of these women in this modern day thinking, and I'm not taking it away. I'm not like bashing it, but what's going on is it's off because when you study the word, or when you look up the word modern, one of the things that come up from an etymological study on the word modern in a Greek from a Greek standpoint is the word newfangled.
Newfangled.
So there's two words that you'll get from modern. You'll get modish and you'll get newfangled. Modish is just doing what everybody's doing. It's continuing to do what everybody's doing. Newfangled is being in something that's new, but you're not comfortable with.
Wow.
So that says to me that role that these modern women are playing, it's really almost like they're not giving the best presentation of who they really are, because they're trying to become something that they sense or see other women doing. And so now everybody's joining in. That's why they're all saying we can't find a good man.
So is that a form of settling? Would that be a form of, because I see the fad or I see the trend of relationships and dating, and I'm just going to, regardless of what I feel or think, I'm just going to be a part of that because I think that's what's going to work, but it's not even a part of me. Is that a layer of settling?
No, it's not a layer of settling. It's what I call so it's really to thine own self be true. I don't think that they're really being true to themselves. Mm-hmm. I think what they're doing is how do you say, you conform. Okay. You conform to what you think is the norm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it's really not the norm. So when you talk about this thought style and you talk about this thought style determines your mate style, what I'm really working on, there's a science to dating. It's what I call the science of dating and mating. And so as I'm putting this together, it's what I call there's a sequence to it. And so when you break that sequence, what you get in return is a consequence.
When you break it.
When you break the sequence to dating. So there's a sequential order how to select and how to attract. And consequence just simply means this is the result of how you decide to select and what you decide to attract. And so what we see now is the consequence of the thought of what women are thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we're seeing, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, as you're talking, it has become a major issue. I don't want to say issue, but as you're saying it, I mean, it's the cry is like, there are no good men. There are no men. There are no good men. But then the men are saying there are no traditional women. There are no women that want to cook and clean and just be for me and ride and die with me and build with me. They want to continue to be corporate. They want to continue to chase a career, which like is nothing wrong with it. But like you started out saying, the balance is off. And so men now are saying that it's such a very, very low ratio of women who they would choose to be their wife. And then they talk about the age. After they hit a certain age, they say, who's going to marry you? This is what they're saying. Who's going to marry you when you get 40? You can't have kids, or you're having a problem to have kids. You done spent all your time corporate and building and buying and dressing. Now you want a kid. Now you want to settle. But now you don't hit the wall, as they say. And so it's such on both sides. There's so much complexity on both sides. That's why I wanted to speak with you. Like, where's the love? Can there be love? Is there a medium? Is there where someone can meet in the middle and still both, I don't know if it's compromised, but work together for the goal of family and love? Where's love in all in all of this?
I think though, I think again, it goes back to how we think and what we think. Whatever we think about, that's what we bring about. And so for me, I give dating and relationships from an expanded conscious perspective. And I think even with the women saying what you're saying, they're saying, and even with the men saying what they're saying, I think at the end of the day, I think that when you really, really determine that I get what I want by thinking what I want, because what you want is ready for you, sometimes you're not ready for it.
True.
Every thought comes with a certain sequence. And it goes back to, again, that's why I'm putting this whole curriculum together, because every thought comes with a certain sequence. Results come in a certain sequence. First is thinking.
True.
Second, then it's results. Because I'm going to get what I want by thinking what I want. I think, and then whatever I think should now determine what I say. So what we're seeing, again, is the consequence of what we're thinking. That's what we're saying. So what people are saying is what they're getting. There is no good men. That's what you think, and that's what you say. So consequently, when a man comes, your mind is already contorted. So he may be a good man, but you can't see it because you've already thought and put it into the atmosphere that there is no good men.
Yeah.
Now, if we change the narrative, and that's where I come in when you talked about it in your intro on the one-on-ones, I want you to change the narrative, because when you change your words, you change your world.
Yeah. That's like rational thinking. Yeah.
Okay, let's go here. I ask a lot of my clients, do you think, or do you think you think?
That's good. That's a good question.
It is. Do you think, or do you think you think? Because it goes back to, I say this, do you remember who you were before the world told you who you are?
Wow.
It's all how we think.
Hmm.
Whatever, if you keep thinking about what's not, that's what's going to be.
Yeah.
And so with this conversation we're having tonight, I'm not coming from I don't want to look at it from a negative standpoint. I'm looking at it from how do we shift it, change the narrative to take it to the place of you becoming it, and then it will come to you. The journey to love has never been about finding the one. That's never been the journey to love. The journey to love has always been about becoming the one.
Becoming the yeah. Yeah. It makes so
So
much sense.
when you become it comes to you. So let's go back to the men that you talked about, how what the men are saying. So the men now are saying that because the women are saying that. So we're all in this jumble together. Somebody's got to step out of it and determine and say, okay, if that's what they're saying, then I'm not going to be what they say. I'm going to be who I'm created to be, and then become that and watch your world starts to change. Your world will start changing.
Yes.
It's just as simple as changing what you say. You change your words, you change your world.
Mhm. All right, let's look at a couple of comments. You know how we do here. You know, people love you and I want to talk to Reg. Let me ask them a question. So, and they are saying that what is a traditional plus modern woman called? She said, I think I'm mixed. And she's chuckling about it.
So she's saying she's a combination of both.
Yeah.
That's good. Now prioritize what's going to be the most important to you to pull out of being both. A traditional woman is mixed with they say that in the 70s when men were macho and women wanted to be of equal value, they wanted to have equal rights, then women became, they had the men were macho, and then women had what they had this Marinismo.
Marinismo.
Marinismo was the female counterpart to the male macho. So then they started to clash and they started to buck heads because she wanted to have that same machismo that the man had, and so she got the Marinismo, and the man had the machismo and the macho and the woman, and they started to clash.
Wow. Wow. Here's another comment.
She says the traditional woman is archaic.
Yes. Marilyn Smith.
Um, I think she says archaic. I think the traditional woman is not. I don't want to say she's archaic. She's rare.
Mm.
She's rare. And every so often when people go out and they find these bones or something, they say it's a rare find. It's a rare species. It's something that's rare. So whatever is rare gets paid a lot of attention to.
Mm-hmm.
It's highlighted.
That's true.
So don't stop being rare, because that makes you stand out to become different.
True. And there's nothing wrong with being different. And Tanya Robinson, she reiterates what you say, a woman is a diamond. And I like the way you broke that down. I mean, being that I love diamonds and I know there's so many facets to a brilliant cut, and a person has to understand the cut of a diamond. They have the round cut and the pear shape, and they have the emerald cut. And each cut has its own definition and its own identity and personality, the stone itself. And so women are just that. It's just that we don't know it. We don't know the many facets. We settle with one side of the diamond and don't explore the other part.
And so the modern woman sometimes recognizes that there are multifacets to her. She, as you said in your opening, she's an entrepreneur. She's this. She's multitasking, and that's great. But you still have to prioritize. Then now, after you build all of that, what's important to you? What's most important to you?
There you
To
go.
continue to be alone. I mean, because if you want to be alone, it's great, but then don't complain.
Right. And it's a lot of that event, they do what they do. And again, we're not bashing modern day women nor traditional women
Not at
because
all.
there
Not at
can
all.
be a balance. There can be a balance, but finding that mate that recognizes how you're wired, who you are, and the communication is, what you desire, what he desire, what can I kind of taper or tamper because it's something that clashes. See, that conversation has to happen, but a lot of times people get out of just seeing what they like, thinking they like it. Then they spend some time with it. And then they find out, oh, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this. I don't want to go here. And they don't get enough time to become friends and build a foundation. And things happen because I don't think there's anything wrong with being a modern day. Well, I mean, you have to change with the times, sometimes, in the 1960s and everything, we had none of the opportunities or things that's happening now. I remember back when they had put out the Virginia Slim cigarettes. Oh man, that was a big thing. The Slim cigarette showing the feminine, showing. We saw the transition. So here we are now, and it seemed like everything has fallen apart.
Because there's an old saying that says most people don't see things the way they are; they see things the way they are. Mm-hmm. You see, it's because it's their perspective. Mm-hmm. And so, but when you expand and change your perspective again, it's all how you see and what you think and what you say. And this is so simplistic. And this is where it has taken me to. Is so simplistic. It's not that hard as we make it harder than what it truly is. It's so simplistic by just changing what you think, changing what you say. And then when you can change what you think and then what you say, then your whole world becomes a whole different world.
When you change, everything around you changes.
Of course.
Everything around you, when you make a change, and you know my slogan, where nothing changes, nothing changes. And people think that's so simple. The words are simple, but the power behind it. It's a power behind that when it becomes revelation to you, when it becomes real, that when nothing changes, something has to shift. Someone has to change the dynamics of something, or else it's the same thing. And when people are stubborn or prideful, or it has to be I, sometimes the I gets in the way of everything. No, I this, no, I, no. Let's see. Anae has a comment. She's saying most people don't see things the way they are. They see things the way they are.
That's right. Yep. Absolutely.
That's true. So I don't know how. Yeah, go ahead, Reg.
No, I just think that it's important that idiosyncrasies have to match synchronicities. So when we talked about earlier how we bring energies together, and then when you bring energies together, essentially what you want to do is you want energies to create a synergy. So if this synergy is created, it's now getting people on this platform that I said is Psi, people that are synergistically involved. When you get people that are synergistically involved, now what they're doing, the energy is matching. The vibratory frequency is there. And when the vibratory frequency is there, that means you're on the same wavelength. We're on the same channel. It doesn't make us the same people. It just means we're on the same channel. It means that we have some common union. And that's where the communication comes in, because when the energy is wrong, my conversation certainly is not long, because now that just simply means there's a bad vibe. We're not on the same frequency. That vibratory frequency is certainly off. And see, all of this plays a part when it comes to dating and mating. It's understanding how to, first of all, let's communicate. That's important. Let's ask the right questions. That's important. So that's when we have a meet and greet. That's important. I need to make sure, first of all, that it's even worth a date. It might not even be worth my time to have a date with this person. So let's just see if we meet and greet and see where we are after the meet and greet. Because in the meet and greet, I want to see if there's any commonalities. I want to see how we conversed, how the conversation is. Do we communicate? Is there what I call chemistry? And then is there a connection? It might not even be worth us going there. So if it's not worth it, then I'm not going to waste my time. My time is my biggest commodity. I can't get that back. Once I throw my time out there, I can't get that time back. So I don't have a whole bunch of time. I just turned 56. I don't have a lot of time to be wasting like that anymore. So I've got to strategically use my time, right?
Yes.
So I need to discover in that meet and greet if it's even worth a date. Some women meet somebody today, go out tonight. Oh my God, I have a date. You don't even know the guy. You don't how you going on a date? No, you're not. You're trying to get to know whether or not if this guy's even worth your time.
Right.
The vibratory frequency may be off. You might not even have the right frequency with each other. So conversation not even gonna be wrong.
At what point, I mean, so people know at what point and I mean, I'm just asking questions for the viewers. At what
Okay.
point do we find that out that I'm talking and then you want to go on a date? I mean, say this weekend and I'm talking to you, say Thursday, and you want to see me Saturday, but we've talked for 2 days. At that point, shouldn't you know at least something?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like once you've done the work on yourself, you absolutely should know what's your fit. You should absolutely know whether it is a fit by asking certain questions.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain questions which you allow them. That's what I do in the dating and creating curriculum. I give you all the questions to ask when you first meet somebody so that they get a clear understanding whether it's a fit for you. And my questions are layered based off of you recognizing and realizing whether this is going to be a fit for you on a long-term basis. So yeah, you should know. But that goes back to you having to do. You have to do the work on yourself.
There you go. I was just getting ready. You said something. I was waiting for you to finish your comment because I was going to say the word that you said after you've done the work, you should know. The problem is many don't do the work.
We want easy answers for hard questions, and that's the problem. You can't get easy answers for hard questions. I mean, you have to take the time, spend the time to thine own self be true. Know thyself. Yep. And in order for you to be true with thyself, you can't get the liberation that you need if the truth isn't there. Because they say after truth comes freedom, right? So know thyself. The truth that you know has the ability to do what? Make you free.
You free. Look what Dawn says. I think this is what she says. We have to be flexible enough to flow within the two sides. And she came right behind that and said, we have to learn how and when to be flexible between the two balance. Okay.
I like it. Yeah, I like what she says, being flexible enough to flow within the two sides. Again, Don, because women are multi-variegated, multifaceted, because when there are so many sides to you all. We don't have that multifaceted, multi-variegated diamond shine like a woman. But that's because it's by design. And so when a woman realizes the power that she has and utilizes her power correctly, she can get a man to do anything in the world that she wants him to do when she recognizes how to use that power correctly, because a woman has that shine. So I say in a lot of my seminars, I say, you can get your man to do anything you want him to do if you know how to correctly present it. Here, example.
Okay.
You never make up the bed, and I'm getting so sick and tired of you. Every time you get up in the morning, you just get up and leave. You never make up the bed. Well, I'm never going to make up the bed because I'm a warrior. I have a warrior instinct. I'm a warrior by nature. And so my defense mechanism just came up, and now you challenging me. You coming at me. I'm never going to make up the bed. Now let's change the narrative. Again, remember, your words create your world.
Right.
You can get a man to do anything in the world you want him to do just by how you present it. Right. So, baby, can I say something to you? Yeah, what's up, babe? I don't know if I've ever told you, but when you bend over and pull the sheets up, you are so sexy to me. And when I watch your biceps and triceps come up when you pull that sheet and that blanket up, that is like the most sexy thing in the world to me. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but baby, you are sexy when you make up that bed. Guess what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. The man's going to make up the bed every morning without you even having to ask him. Why? Because it was how you came at him and how you presented it. It was just you changing the way that you wrapped it up. You presented it in such a way where it complimented him and it didn't compete with him.
That's so important. That's so true, though. And Nay is dancing. Look, she's running. And they say, yeah. She said, uh-oh.
She ready now. She armed now.
And then she says, there's so much power in word. It is, and how you speak to people. My mother always says, not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's
Let
how
me
you said.
finish.
And love and love is all about action.
Look what the girl wrote. She's a
Let me
mess.
pass him that fitted sheet.
You know, she gonna start cutting up. I'm sorry, Reggie. Say what you just said again.
I said, love is all about action. It's action. It's how we interact and it's how we act with towards one another. It's act and then it's acted up on. That's the action. So when you understand that there's action when it comes to love, love creates a momentum. And when it creates that momentum, there's a flow. And so when there's a flow happening, that flow creates the momentum for something to be contagious, right? But what typically blocks a flow is, this is such a harsh word, but you'll get it when I say it. What typically blocks a flow is a word called constipation. When someone is constipated, it just simply means there's something blocking the flow, right? And so what we see in a lot of relationships now is relationships are constipated.
Folks is constipated. We gotta give them a natural laxative or something. We gotta get something going on.
Unblock the flow.
Unblock the flow. Marilyn Smith is laughing at you. Yeah, he got jokes. She said, that's funny. Yeah. It's so true though. You gotta unlock that thing and get a flow going, because if there's no flow, there's no movement. Then everybody's stuck.
So when there's no movement, you become a monument.
Ooh. Okay. Drop the mic over, why don't you?
No movement, you're a monument. All you're doing is standing still. No progress.
And when you have people coming into your sessions and have these consultations, and I mean, without telling us, we of course we're not dropping names, like what's the ratio? Is it more women or couples that come to you? What's the age bracket?
Yeah, it's I normally 35 to 55 is that right up in there, and you're going into that 60, but of course it's more women, because my message have always been to empower and to enlighten the woman, because right. I feel like if as TD Jakes had put it, that conference that he did for women for so long, woman thou art loose, because if you got a woman that's liberated and a woman that's been what he called loosed, woman thou art loose, and then you got a bound man. So now what happens is when that woman changes, it helps to change the man. Again, a woman can get a man to do anything in the world that she wants him to, just by how she presents it. So loosing that woman has all to do with helping her to reshape her mind, to reshape her thoughts, so that she thinks different, so that she talks different, so that she presents it differently. Once she presents it differently, that same woman that would have came, because women are emotional creatures. They're emotional beings. And so women always are led by their emotions. And that's why a lot of times women don't think before they speak, because their emotions start to flow and they just go with it. Right. But now if you think before you say what it is you think you need to say, some things don't need to be said. So now you don't have to say everything. You just become an individual that you're thinking before you say, and now you're just leading by your example. That's the whole thing about the bed making. You say, I'm so sick of talking. You didn't think before you said it. But now you're putting some thought into what you're saying. Oh my God, honey, you're so sexy. Keep making up the bed. He's going to make it up every time. You're still getting what you want.
What you want. True. And I think that has a lot to do with delivery of women who are not healed, women who have baggage. And we all have baggage, but you can't have a 5-piece luggage set. You can have a little cosmetic bag, but you can't come with no 5-piece now, because all that's going to do is spill over into some craziness because you got too much going on. You constipated in more than one way, right? And so when we don't take the time to release that luggage and do the work, the thing is, like, it's so important to sit with yourself and look at yourself and accept where you are. Don't sugarcoat it. It's how you got to where you are, and it's probably got reason how you got to that space. But now what do you do when you're trying to merge into somebody else's life just because you look good out here? You got on the best stuff, you got the right job, but inside the shallowness and the hurt and the trauma, it just doesn't, it's not fair, both men and women, to bring that into another person's life until you do the work.
Doing the work is very important, and I think that I married a couple about 2 weeks ago, and when I went in to talk with the groom, he shared something with me. He said, and he was marrying someone from another country, but he said to me, I don't think that I will. He said, I don't think that I will ever date another American woman.
Oh.
I said, why? I said, why? He said, because women that come from a different country understand what it takes to compliment her man. Mm-hmm. He said, and women he said, where we are in the States, they want to compete against me. He was a very successful businessman. This guy I was marrying, he was he was wealthy, but he said, they want to compete against me. He said, and if they don't want to compete against me, it almost comes across then they want to use me.
That's another big topic in the YouTube streets, the passport brothers. The passport brothers is huge in the streets on YouTube. Conversations, many. It's a club now. They have left and went to Belize and all these other countries and got married or dating women over there and moved to these places for the simple fact of what you just said. They feel that they're tired, they're fed up, and women of other cultures, but then other cultures also was trained, I don't want to say trained, but raised a different way in their thoughts process. Everything is demand. Everything you're here to please him. But
I think it's just complimenting. Again, it goes back to complimenting the man. But because when you said it's not like they're trained to be slaves, though.
No.
They're not trained to be a man's slave and to just be at his beckoning call. Everything he says, when he says jump, they jump. When he says go, they go. They're not trained like that. I just think they're trained with the understanding of the role. Right. It goes back to understanding the role.
Mention that because that is a big conversation. And trust me, on the platforms, we have a platform of 10 people, women and men, and it gets heated because the women are like, no, how can brothers say they're going to leave? And so now it becomes that. It's women here and you're leaving and you're saying there's no traditional women and you're going to other countries, finding. But like I said in the beginning of our conversation, a lot of men are vocal now. They're vocal. They're speaking up for what they want. They're speaking up that they're not going to be. There's a big talk in the streets about alimony. How men are abused paying alimony and all types of things. So it's this conflict surrounding relationships in a big way. And this is why I want to, every time you come, you bring it and people benefit from it because your perspective, and you see what I put on the banner. I put just what your slogan is on one of your, I think it's in your, on your website. It's coming across as we speak. Well, of course, you see where nothing changes, nothing changes. Right? I'm never, ever going to stop saying that. That changed my life, right? So and you have the perspective slogan that you have. I put, traditional men in that, of course, the title of what we're talking about tonight. And you say on your website, come on by, Regi. Come on, here we go. You say after your website that dating from an expanded conscious perspective. That's what you say. And that's a lot.
It is a lot, and I think that I saw something the other day. It was posted and it says that men are taught how to treat a woman, but not what to expect from them.
Ooh.
And it says that women are taught what to expect from men, but not how to treat them.
Mm.
And so when you think about that's that clash now that we're having now. That's the clash with the modern day woman and the traditional men, because men are taught how to treat a woman, but they're not taught what to expect from a woman, because that's not necessarily, they want to be the provider.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be the protector.
Mm-hmm.
And so being a provider and a protector in a man's mind makes a man feel really good that he can provide and that he can protect. And then women are taught what to expect from men. They want men to be a provider. They want men to be a protector, but they don't know, this modern day woman, how to treat that man that is a provider and a protector, because they still want the man to pay for everything. They still want the man to do everything, but yet they still want to keep their independence.
True.
And so women want to make more money, and they say they make more money than a man. So they say they don't want to date down, but yet when a man dates down, he has no problem taking a woman to dinner.
True.
But a woman who makes more money than a man feels like that same man is still supposed to provide and still supposed to pay for everything. So there's this, right now we have this problem, and it's almost like an oxymoron.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's just what it is. That's so true. Before Reggie go, you guys got to give some questions in the chat. You know, they just listening. They just intently listening. Any questions? Keep talking, Reg, because I know you've been out. We've been on almost an hour, and I know we usually leave at an hour or whatever. But
okay, it's definitely your call. I mean, we can continue. It's definitely your call. You know, it's just how we're wired now, and so you know, I think that the way that we have been wired. It goes back to, again, as you say, when nothing changes, nothing changes. Change is inevitable. Change is what we call change is. I used to define change as the universe preparing us for what it has prepared for us.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
that's change. And so if the universe prepares us for what it has prepared for us, then change can happen with us. It can happen without us, but it's going to happen around us, because change is going to constantly happen.
Right.
And so if it's constantly happening, then what has to happen? Let's take a couple, for example, that's been married for a long time. Change is happening. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we're both evolving.
Right.
Called evolution. We're evolving. And a lot of times that's why divorce happens, because we evolved and somebody evolved into something that the other didn't. Mm-hmm. That's what divorce means. Die means two, divorce means ways. So die two ways. We're going two different ways. Mm-hmm. Right? So now, what were you going to say, Sheila?
I said, no, say the divorce word. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard you say that one before, the die. Oh, yeah.
So you're going two ways. There's two roads that two people are traveling now. And so even with what we're talking about in this discussion today about modern women, traditional men, it's two roads that people are traveling. Mm-hmm. But everything changes. Mm-hmm. Nothing stays the same. Mm-hmm. So what happens now when those two roads come back to meet?
Exactly.
If those two roads come back to meet, remember I said, he's probably ready for you. You probably not ready for him. It's out there.
Yeah.
It'll happen when you're ready for it. That's bringing those two roads together when they meet. Mm-hmm. And so what's happening now is because the mind is not shifting. The mind is not evolving. You're staying right where you are. So that's where the problem is. That's why the conversation is still there. Again, it's expanded consciousness. Whatever you think about, that's what expands. That's what you're going to bring about. It's going to continue to, if you constantly focus on what's missing, That's what's going to continue to be missing. But if you focus on what you become intentional now, and you focus on what you intend to create, because here's what I always tell people: we can't predict our future, but we can create it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can we have the power to create it. We can be, do, and have whatever it is that we want. We can be it. We can do it. We can have it. We can create it. We create it in the mind. We speak it with our words. We speak it into existence. It comes to pass. So all those women that saying there's no good men out there, I'm telling you, shift your thoughts, change it, and then start saying, oh, there is a bunch of good men out there. I just haven't found the one that I want yet.
And you have to place yourself in that arena where that particular type of person that you're looking for, that you feel will complement you. We have, a lot of times I think that women stay stuck in one space and look in one space and don't change even their behavior to go somewhere else or be somebody else, to try something different. And then they expect, again, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So they're in the same space. They do the same thing. They go to the same places with the same people, and they don't expand and try something different, go somewhere different. They don't expand that. They act like there's nothing out there other than what they're used to and what they know. And it's so big. It's such a realm of different places to be and do and go. But they keep doing the same thing over and over, thinking, and so they get the same type of man that they feel, have abused them or don't understand them. But the mentality of the person you're dealing with, you're expecting somebody to give you what they don't have. And people can't give you what they don't have.
Yeah, they can't take you where they've never been.
And take you where they've never been. So those
And
are all the different things and that you're saying prevent or keep that mentality that there's no good men, that, and then years pass and years pass.
It's important too. Like I was on was it KUNV? I was just on I forgot this. I was just on a station and she brought up something. She said that she was talking about being unequally yoked. And I told her I don't buy into that. I said, the reason I don't buy into that, I said, because when you talk about being unequally yoked, you want somebody that's just like you. And I said, you're not going to find somebody that's just like you. You want somebody, because now you're talking about beliefs, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about that, it's important to understand that maybe you want to try something that's not just like you so that it can expand you and pull out another part of you that you've never been introduced to. Very important. I know a lot of people that are in a different realm would give a blinded eye to that. But when you think about the results of the other way, the results of that way, it's not working.
No.
I'm sorry to say, and I'm sorry to bust that bubble, but the results aren't working, because when you look at the numbers and the statistics of the divorce rate in that thought process compared to the divorce rate in with not that thought process, it's higher.
It's high. It is. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And that
exactly. And so it's not working.
Exactly.
So you might want to be able to, you might want to tap into something that has to maybe expand you, stretch you, get you out of your comfort zone, because you've been there, and so that's where you want to stay. Let's get out of where you've been to go somewhere you've never been, so that you can get something you've never got.
You'll do something you've never done before and see. And then what happens with that is fear grips people, because familiarity is what people like to stay in. They don't want to go into the unseen. They don't want to test no new waters because they don't know what's on the other side. But you might as well jump, because what you know over here, you've done it, you know it, you're repeating it. So go ahead and do something different, right? And know that if it's not right or if it doesn't work, look at all the other things that you got back on your feet from. It's so true.
And your energy, again, you tap it into the energy to get the synergy. If you don't get the synergy, then you're not going to stay long because the energy's off. Again, when my conversation's not long, when the energy's wrong. But if the energy is matching, then you guys you're vibing. And that's what you want. You want to be able to vibe with that person. And as you are vibing, that means your frequency is matching. That's important.
That's so important. Just don't skip over everything. Make sure that's first. And they say, here's a question. How would someone who is in a relationship where they motivate their boo, get that motivation in return.
So what I would suggest to you, what are you motivating in? First of all, let me ask you this: what are you motivating him in? How? And what are the things you're motivating him about? Find something that's his passion, because what may be his passion may be something you don't like. So find something that's his passion, tap into that. And then now you guys, what we call, have that common union. When you can find that common union, both of your energies start to flow. Whatever that common union is, find that. It's what psychologists used to teach when two people were having issues. They would say, have what they call a conference table. And both of you would know, meet at the conference table. The conference table is where both of you feel comfortable. You just designate an area in your house and you make that the meeting place. Both of you feel good at that meeting place. And so you meet there, you'll look at each other and you'll say conference table. So you both go to the conference table and then you discuss what it is that you need to discuss at that conference table. But you both make up your mind that you're not going to leave that conference table until it's ironed out. That's because we want to find a common union.
Yeah, because you do that in workplaces, conference room, you do that with people and strangers and people you work with, but you don't do the same. You don't apply it to your life. What you say with that question, that has a lot to do, or maybe not a lot, has to do with your love language, with people not understanding and knowing each other's love language. So I'm giving you cologne, but you want my shoulder, and no one's paid attention to each other from that degree, right? So now you're with these people and you're together, but yet you still don't know really what moves me. And it could be something as simple as touching my shoulder, right? Not bringing me gifts. So I think that's important too, because I know a lot of people that when I was counseling couples, and simple questions they couldn't answer for each other and had been together for years. And it amazed me. Of course, I had to keep the straight face, but it amazed me that you could be with someone so long and haven't tapped in to each other to know my deepest thing, to know what hurts me or what I like or what I don't like. And so the love language conversation has been out front a lot now. And somebody said to me, I counseled someone, they were getting married, and I said, well, I can't marry you until you do some sessions. That's not going to happen, right? We did the temperament sessions and the temperament analysis. That you got to know your needs and wants and strengths and weaknesses. You can't just come together. And I said, well, do you know her love language? And he was like, I said, well, do you know his love language? And she was like, what's that? I was like, okay, looks like we have some homework.
Yeah.
Very important.
It's very important that two people, again, that goes back to what we've been talking about. You can't be in sync. So you cannot be two people that are synergistically involved if you're not in sync.
True. And you've got to do the work in that too, as well as with yourself. It's a couple work thing. It's not just you. And you're right. It's difficult. It's difficult to, oh my goodness. I thought I turned the phone off. Dee Dee, I'll call you. It's okay. It's okay. I thought I turned my phone off. It's difficult to have cultures even merging, right? It's when you, like you said, your friend, although he recognized how she could compliment him, it's still going to be a merging of culture. There's still got
but what that does for him and what that does for her is if two parties or two people are willing to be open, you got to be open.
Right.
In order to expand. If two parties are willing to be open to receive each other in all of the key essence of who each other is,
right,
then what happens is...
No, that's just Inne doing her thing for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Inne. So if you're open enough to receive, then that can expand you as a person. It can expand you. It makes you now even become more variegated, more multifaceted, because that adds other sides to the brilliance and to the beauty of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. But the openness, you got to have that. You can't be constipated.
Nope. She says,
you cannot.
Too funny.
Nothing will happen. You'll be wasting your little time. You guys can support Reggie at Coach C, Regi Rodgers, by subscribing to his channel, YouTube channel. He also, I got his handle up for on the banner that's going across the screen. His banner, his let me see what it's the Twitter. No, I don't have Twitter. I have
You
IG.
got the website up, cregirogers.com. You
I got
got that up.
his website up, and I have his IG page up at C Regi Rodgers, and you can go to his website and get his books. You can book a counseling session, or whatever you need to do to chat with him and talk with him. He is the man. I tell you, he is the one who comes here. We always embrace him when he comes. He gives us so much insight, and he dropped the mic. I don't know how many times tonight, but Reggie, I want you to continue, and then do your thing.
Well, I think I would definitely like to end with this. I created a, everybody is about manifesting now, manifesting what you want, because we do have that power to manifest. Again, with the words that we speak. And to all the single ladies out there, I've created what I call a mate manifesting. It's affirmations to manifest the mate that you want. And so the purpose of this is to help you to create the mate that you desire and the mate that you deserve. So I'd like to probably do this mate manifesting affirmation for those that are single. I think it'll be a huge help and aid and assistance, again, because our words are so powerful. It's what we say, when we say, and how we say what we say. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask your audience to just flow with me on this.
Absolutely. Are you ready, class? Are we ready? We are ready.
So first is you're going to say, I am ready for a new relationship with my mate.
I am ready for a new relationship with my mate.
Today, I welcome my mate into my life.
Today, I welcome my mate into my life.
My mate will come into my life in a way.
My mate will come into my life in a way
that will be either expected or unexpected.
That will either be expected or unexpected.
There will be a flow when I meet my mate.
There will be a flow when I meet my mate.
My mate will be surprisingly fun.
My mate will be surprisingly fun.
I am open.
I am open.
And ready to receive my mate.
And ready to receive my mate.
Today, I activate my creative potential.
Today, I activate my creative potential.
To create my date.
To create my date.
Today, I'm clear.
Today, I'm clear.
On what my mate will look.
On what my mate will look.
And feel like.
And feel like.
I am a magnet for my mate.
Ooh, I am a magnet for my mate.
And my mate will be drawn to me.
And my mate will be drawn to me.
Today, I recognize mate manifesting opportunities.
Today, I recognize mate manifesting opportunities.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Y'all heard it. I heard you out there. Up in the basement, I heard you too. I heard you, and I said it with some oomph. My mother said, say it with oomph in you. I said it with some oomph. I didn't say it. I said it. I put it out there. Did you put it out there? And they put it out there. Yes, she did. She put it out there. Who else put it out there? She says, I'm ready. She is ready. Who else is ready? And then they says, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This was so good. Yes, yes, and yes, Coach, this was awesome, as usual, and I thank you so very much. Oh my goodness, this was awesome. I know people receive from it. I know, I mean, you just like doing your thing. You know, you just, when you call to do something, when it's on you, it's on you. And this is on you. And you know what? Like you said, you can't take someone where you haven't been. I say it all the time if I have to speak or whatever. I can't take you where I haven't been, such as I have, right?
I
Such
give unto thee.
There you go. There you go. It's been awesome. They saying thank you in the chat. Thank you, Coach. Always good to hear from you. They are excited. And what's next for you? What are you doing now?
So I've got a book that's coming out. I've been talking to publishers over the last few days. We've been talking about publishers. I'm trying to have this. Well, I'm not try. I don't like the word try. I will have this book out in 2024 on or around Valentine's, either before Valentine's or shortly thereafter Valentine's. I don't want to do it right at Valentine's because there's so much happening at Valentine's. Right. But the book is going to be entitled "How to Create Your Mate."
How to create your mate. Okay.
I gave you some stuff tonight on some of these affirmations, but yeah, how to create your mate.
Yeah, and I know it's going to be awesome. And I don't know, I know for sure once we put this information up, I know, and they probably already went to your website and bought your book. Anybody that comes to this platform, she is the main one that sows into the lives of people, every person that has hit this platform, because she loves to grow. Her and so many other people. I don't know why Dawn B, my co-host, didn't pop up on this stage tonight, but that's all right. She's probably getting ready for her show tomorrow. But it has been awesome. I just wish I could give you a hug. It's a virtual hug.
It's a virtual hug. I got you.
And we'll talk soon. Don't move. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It has been a blast. I tell you, this has been awesome. I just love this guy so much. I can't believe he's 56. No way. No way. I think he's full of
Sheila, you're making me feel good.
Yeah. We figured it out. That's good. Hey, Lisa.